Hello, everybody. Monday, March 17. And today, really, I want to talk about something has been kind of back of my mind for a long, long time, and we just media and politician and Malala Foundation and all those people who get so uh, irritated and vocal when conservative Muslim, majority Muslim, or whatever our adversary in Afghanistan or Libya or even Russia, when there is some abuses there, human rights or women oppression and uh, uh, domestic violence will be called honor killing, and Malala will come with her foundation about talking about oppressed Muslim women in the Muslim world, and but the people we do business with, Saudi Arabia, Israel, or all that, Egypt, all the abuses are ignored and looked the other way because they are useful idiots in Saudi Arabia or in Egypt or in Israel. They are useful. So we just look the other way. Genocide, we look the other way. We justify it. We rationalize it. And there is a reason why the Israelis are killing civilians and children. And what about Hamas? Do you support Hamas? And the Brotherhood, the Islam as the terrorist, and on and on and on. And the village idiot used anti-Semitism for his own vendetta and getting rid of his political enemies. And I think one day he's going to throw the Zionist project under the bus. And I think Netanyahu is a politician, and he knew that. And now it's up to the Israelis, do whatever you want. But I think we're not going to support you. We might send you money and weapon, but you are on your own. And we have bigger problem here in America. And uh, and that's how his mentality is. Ukraine, you are on your own. We have bigger problem here in America. We try to make America great. You're not the chosen people anymore. We are the chosen people here. So, but I just run into a report about those African uh, workers, especially from Kenya, that they are abused in the Gulf area. And this was talking about specifically about Saudi Arabia. Uh, they are agency and politicians and leaders of corrupt regimes in Africa and wealthy Saudis. They have trade of and encourage people. They are desperate for money or a living, and they lure them to Saudi Arabia to work as a domestic worker or maids, whatever, and give example of people who are been abused, raped, beaten, killed, and no repercussion, no follow up, no nothing. Uh, and they keep on dying. The headline is "Why Maids Keeps on Dying in Saudi Arabia," and they really make an analogy, about Nairobi International Airport, where you have the departure area. There are people excited; they're gonna go to Saudi Arabia or Dubai or wherever, and they have T-shirt, and it's like going on a cruise. And their life is going to change and promises and agent and gonna make their money of their life in Saudi Arabia. And then you go to the arriving place in the airport, it's a totally different story. People coming with horrible stories, and they just very contrast in the same airport. So it is really an amazing, tragic, and abuse and human trafficking and sex, wherever. The media was just look the other way. They are just busy outlying a woman that is been asked to put a hijab on, or a Talibani did this, and close a salon because it's run by a woman, and it's the whole world is about up to arm because the Taliban abuses women, or in Syria, or in Palestine and Hamas, and all this. Even Hamas it is the only Arab governing that has been elected fairly, and and they are terrorists, and arresting people in colleges and students because they support terrorist organization. Somebody is protesting war, asking their institution to divest. The woman, the African woman that have been abused in Saudi Arabia by hundreds, and nobody's talking about this. And as long as bin Salman opened the market, the oil is coming pouring, and normalizing with the Israelis and financing wars all over the area. He can abuse women, he can abuse politicians, he can kill Khashoggi and cut him to pieces with a saw, and it's okay. And as long as he's investing trillions of dollars, billions of dollars in American banks, he is okay. His violation is okay. And as long as now is opening not just the oil uh, pipe, but opening culture, turning Mecca to Las Vegas, and concert, and people coming there with entertainment, and diverse the attention of his abusive regime, and but East African women have been abused and raped and killed in Saudi Arabia. And official, of course, they cannot do this without the cooperation between corrupt official and East Africa places, and the people in Saudi Arabia. First things they take people passport, and you are really entrapped without paper. Nowadays, you cannot move. And if you abuse her, if you complain, you're done. You're done. Someone was complaining about not getting money, being harassed by their boss, and that company, the agent that sponsored them to and lured them to Saudi Arabia, told her you can swim across the Red Sea and get yourself back to Kenya. That's how abusive people are. So this is an amazing story that's even New York Times finally have a kind of report about this, and talking about their investigation, and powerful people has incentive to keep the flow of worker moving despite widespread abuse. Members of the Saudi royal family are major investors in agency that place domestic worker, politician, and their relatives in Uganda and Kenya own staffing agency. So it's a major web of people desperate for money, desperate to make a living, and we go there and destroy the livelihood of countries and steal their resources and become desperate to live there, support their corrupt official, and people want to leave, want to change, and we accuse them of illegal immigrants or let them go to be abused in a country like Saudi Arabia. It is really reflects reality now. There is no politics, there is no values, there is no. It's all about money, selling and buying, and using your physical hard power to get ahead. So. I'm just, I don't know how far would that go. I'm just trying to bring attention to all these women that have been trapped and staying in Saudi Arabia against their will, and they've been abused, and nobody talks about it. Of course, the fact they're African, the fact that they are blacks, the fact they are from corrupt countries, the fact they are from desperate countries. Nobody pay attention. It's not going to bring advertisement to media. It's not going to bring policy changing. You're not going to benefit from supporting this or adapting this, and the abuse keeps on going, keeps on going. And then the official, of course, in Saudi Arabia, they're not even been investigated. And ask questions and press conference and all of that and put in a circus about abused African women in Saudi Arabia. Like if was in a country that we have a bandera with, like Iran or Afghanistan or Libya or Syria, you will see a jump by it. Minority in Syria, the Druze and the Christian in Syria have been abused, and white in South Africa has been abused, and their land's been stalling, like Elon Musk is now he's South Africa born waging this war about things unfounded. There's no report saying that white in South Africa are abused, or they still, 7% of South Africa, they own 80% of the wealth and land and all of this. And mosques, they've been abused, and their land is taken away from them forcefully, and they ask people to come here to the United States. This is Afrikaners, apartheid, the people who abused and used apartheid, Jim Crow policy for 80 years or so, and we supported that. Now, because Africans and try to reclaim and try to investigate abusive, and now they are abused in South Africa. So it is not really, now we don't have a policy or politics, the end of politics, post values, post-humanism, and whatever works, whatever bring money, whatever bring interest, whoever is willing to work with us, that it goes. So just bring some attention to the abusive that's happening in Saudi Arabia to African women, domestic workers, maids, and it is really culminate what reality we are living in. Okay, well, this is all the ranting I have for the day, and support, follow, share, and we'll see you next week or next day or maybe the next hour. And goodbye, salam, happy Ramadan, everybody.